Hey guys. Hopefully I look okay on both apps. This is my first time using a light because I'm kind of a little bit in a dark room. But hopefully everybody can see me okay. Hello. Okay, I'm already gonna need a fan on, so let me turn that on. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. How's everybody doing tonight? We are live on TikTok and Instagram, so if you see me looking someplace else, that's what I am doing. How's everybody doing today? Does anybody have any questions for me? Ask me anything. Hi, I'm doing good. Hi from Oregon. Oops, sorry. I'm in Ohio. I like doing these lives because I know we get like comments during the week and questions and DMs and everything, and I can't get back to everybody. So if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, put it in the chat. But talking about myself, I'm a fraud investigator for a credit card company. I think that's a question we get sometimes, is what we do for work. My husband is an LPN, and I am a fraud investigator for a credit card company. It's interesting overall. I like it. I enjoy it. It keeps me on my toes, but I still would like to do something different right now. I would like to do something else, like within the company, because it's been like 6 years that I've been in this department, and it's time for a change. But yep, we are set to I was thinking, someone asked last time, like, when are we gonna celebrate like a milestone soon? I was thinking like when we hit 50K to do, someone said, do you work from home? Yes, I do. I was thinking when we hit 50K, I mean, it's not something super spectacular, but at least some candles that we get to blow out like we did when we hit 5 figures. So for sure, I want to at least do that. We did, I'm trying to think, when was that? I think when we hit 2.5 years left, or when we were halfway, we did like a fun day for our kids and stuff, and like we ate whatever we wanted, just because usually we didn't. Last year, like, I'm trying to think, I want to say that was the first 6 or 7 months, we only ate out twice a month, and so eating out is our thing. So we just went and ate like whatever we wanted. But nowadays we don't do that anymore. We just eat whenever we want, but we still don't eat like a whole lot. So people were surprised that we only spent $67 eating out last week. But that was it. If anybody has any questions, put it in the chat. Are you still paying on your home or are you done? We're still paying on it. We're planning to be done next year. What is your advice on home loans? Like getting one? I would just say saving as much money as possible. Like, even when I thought we were good down payment, I still feel like we could have had more money saved because then you have to buy furniture, especially with us coming from an apartment. Yeah, with us coming from an apartment and our apartment obviously being significantly smaller than our house is now, I just felt like we could have had more money for, like, honestly, you'll never have enough money. So that's just my suggestion, is just save as much as you can. So we also like hired movers when we moved. It ended up being more than we thought it was going to be. Like, they told us one price and then they said that it was going to be more because we had more than they thought we had. And what are you going to do? Would you consider buying an investment property when you're done? Like next year when we're done? Absolutely not. Right now we don't even have that like in our long-term goals or anything. So maybe like 20, 30 years. I guess more so when I say that, I just mean never say never. But as of right now, we have no plans to buy any investment properties. It's funny, I just made 2 TikToks about that today. And just how we're just not looking to do that. But to each their own, you know. What do you guys think about investment property? What's the plan with your money when your house is paid off? Just enjoying our money, honestly. Obviously investing more, both for our kids and for ourselves. Like, we just don't have like something like, okay, when we pay off the house, this is what we're gonna do. I would like to work less, like part-time, but we'll see, just because obviously you still have so many goals. We want to buy a new car eventually. Well, my husband does. What is your strategy to paying off the mortgage early? Extra. Every little bit extra that you can put towards it helps bring down interest and bring down your balance faster. It's really what it comes down to, cutting expenses. Like, I know with the video I posted recently talking about what we spent in a week last week, people seemed like they didn't believe me. Like, didn't believe that I had only spent as much as I had spent. So, like, $22 at Target, like Amazon, $37, filled up our gas tank for like $37. I'm not saying you have to be like that, like bare bones, but it definitely helps to cut your expenses down, like not spending more than you have to. Where do you pay the extra? Principal. Yes, anything above our minimum we put towards the principal. You know, it depends on your goals. I mean, some people say they want to make it so their payment isn't due for a long time. That's not really what we're looking to do. So we pay any extra on our principal to try to pay it off earlier. Yep, it's been, let me think. Our first payment was due November 1st, 2020. So the way you and your husband are knocking down the mortgage is inspiring. Thank you. I mean, I definitely didn't expect that. Like, when we first started posting about like our mortgage and stuff, I think I was really just like documenting it because like when we're trying to pay off our consumer debt, so like student loans and cars and stuff, and I would always say like we didn't really like document it or like show it, like, you know, like taking pictures of us being exhausted or like milestones. Like, we didn't do any of that. So we knew it happened, but we just didn't have like a whole lot to show for it that we could go back and look at. So I was like, when we pay off our mortgage, we're going to actually document it this time. And just so happens that other people get inspired by it and motivated by it and things like that. So it's cool. Do y'all work multiple jobs? No. I have one full-time job and my husband has one full-time job. I did used to do a lot of overtime though. Like I stopped doing overtime last year just because it was too much and I wasn't like super feeling it. I was just super burnt out at work, honestly. So yeah, I just do the minimum that I have to do and then I clock out and I leave. Most people don't talk about the other cost of buying a house. We know 20% down payment and 10% closing cost, I think, but what are the other cost of buying a home? It was a little different for me because we had built our house. Some people have to pay for other things like inspection fees, which we could have gotten an inspection, but we didn't. Some people have to pay for like appraisal fees. Like I didn't have as much like some of those types of costs, but there are those types of costs. I know my mom was building a house, or not building, buying. She had to pay stuff like that, and then for whatever reason it fell through. And there's no, like, you don't get your money back for that, for like those fees and stuff that you have to pay for. Someone said attorney fees. Yeah, so honestly, like, just because I didn't have like the normal buying process that most people have, I'm not 100% sure on all of it, but yeah, for sure, closing costs. I was actually just looking at our documents yesterday, and there was a lot of fees on there, but I think it's all rolled into closing costs. Someone said, what percentage of your income is your mortgage? I live in California, and a mortgage is so expensive. Our minimum payment technically is about 17% of our take-home pay, but pay extra, obviously. So in Q1, we had, actually did a video about this. We had 61% of our take-home pay go towards our mortgage. But yeah, I know it's like a lot more expensive in other states and stuff like that. So I do wonder, like I always ask people this because I know it's hard when you have family and all that, but would you move to live someplace that is a more affordable cost of living? Like, is that worth it to you? I just like if it was me, and it's easy for me to say just because I'm not in an expensive state. We visited California one time, and I was just like, I don't want to like say anything bad about the state, but I just feel like I'll just say I just did not feel like it was worth living there. Hello. But at the same time, I only went to one part, which was Los Angeles, so probably the busiest part of the state. But I was just like, this is a great place to like come and go on vacation, but like to live here, it's so much money. No, not worth it. My life is here. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm really sorry, but I know it's a lot more expensive to live there, so it's kind of just things you have to deal with. Hello. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the outside perspective is about Ohio. So you guys will have to tell me. And I feel like also, like, I feel like our sports kind of help us a little bit. I feel like our college football is pretty known, so people probably don't think we're just like cornfields anymore, because we're not. But you guys put in the comments and tell me, what is the outside perspective when you think of Ohio for people who are not in Ohio? I'm a little nervous. Hello, love your videos, thank you. Someone said the Bay Area in California is worse. I've heard some things. I've seen some things online about the Bay Area, but I don't know, is it really like that? Someone said I think of college football. Okay, good. Someone said I love your perspective on paying your mortgage. Thank you. Yeah, I try to put something else out there because there's a lot of like things online about people either complaining about their financial situations, or I'm not going to say like it's not nothing wrong with, complaining about it, but I guess just more so people like are in a rut or just like in their financial states that aren't good at this time. So I do hope someone said cornfields, like goodbye, not cornfields. We're not just cornfields, I promise. There are some, but that's not all it is. Someone said I went to Ohio and it was okay. We had fun. Ohio people are super into their college football team. Honestly, yes. I would agree with that. What was I saying? Yeah, I just feel like yes, people have rough situations with their finances sometimes, and I get that, but I also just kind of feel like I'm so transparent about our finances, and like people I think are starting to just realize like how we're doing it. It's not just that like people assume, oh, we make so much money, or oh this, oh that, and then they're actually just like, oh wow, you only spent $22 at Target. Like actually, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Thank you for the gifts. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Lowering your expenses. Also getting rid of debt, because a lot of us in America have debt. That's just the truth. Someone said Jason Kelsey is from Ohio. Travis Kelsey too, his brother. Yeah, obviously. But yeah, honestly, they've been showing Ohio some love lately. Can't forget about where they're from. I do know they were at a Cleveland Cavaliers game, I want to say like a month ago or something like that. And recently they were here too for something. I can't remember what it was, but I saw them someplace on stage dancing or whatever. Nope. $7 plus for coffee. Spend coffee in general. Yeah, coffee gets expensive. I have coworkers who live in Ohio and their country. Oh my gosh. Listen, honestly, I don't feel like people are country here in general. Like, it's not the South. Someone said, what do you think of the FIRE movement? I mean, sounds great. Hey, hello. We all love to retire early. You know, I didn't get there, I guess. But, yeah, of course, I want to retire early. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know that we're going to ramp up our investing when we pay off the house next year. I don't want to be too aggressive with it, just because it's like we've been working so hard for so many years. So I just feel like I want to do something that's like boring, you know, just set a certain amount and forget it. Right now we do 10% investing. I don't know, I would say at least 20, but at the same time, my job has a really good match. I mean, I feel like it's really good. You guys have to comment and let me know what your job does with like matching and stuff like that. My job does 5% of every paycheck, plus once a year they give us 3% of our prior year's salary. I feel like that's good. So what do y'all's job do? Trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Someone said, do you sacrifice shopping to pay off bills? If so, doesn't it make you feel deprived? I don't feel like I sacrifice shopping. I don't know. I think I have a different mindset, like about shopping, like clothes shopping and stuff like that. I'm just not super. I just feel like the clothes in my closet are enough right now with what I have. I don't feel like I need more clothes right now. Granted, in 2023, we did decide not to buy clothes. Like that was something that we did last year that was a little extreme, but we did it. So we saved up money at the end of December to go shopping, like buy new clothes that we would need. And also we had like lost a lot of weight in 2023, so we needed some new clothes anyway. So we had saved up to go buy new stuff. And so technically in January, we just bought a lot of clothes. Not a lot, but a decent amount. So I just feel like I have enough clothes right now. Now I can't say, you know, when summer comes around, I might feel like we need to go shopping. It's like if we need to buy clothes, then we'll buy clothes. I don't know if you were even talking about clothes or if you're talking about like other types of shopping, but I just feel like I have enough right now. Move to like see this. When you have everything you need and want, you don't need to go shopping as much. Yeah, I just feel like I feel content. Like I think that's the word. Sorry, I keep shaking the screen. I'm like shaking my thing that this is sitting on, but when I'm reading it. But yeah, I just feel like I have everything that we have, what we need right now. Like obviously we have kids, and so they're constantly growing out of stuff. But the lucky thing is my oldest, like I started pulling from his closet like when my youngest was a newborn. So like my oldest had two tea clothes that were getting small, and I was literally pregnant and then putting it like in his closet. So my youngest is good and set on clothes. My oldest probably soon could use some clothes. You know, because summer is coming up, so It's like last season's clothes and stuff like that, or like last season's sizes. So probably soon, with it being April now, probably by May or June, we're going to be buying clothes for him. I don't feel like my youngest needs clothes, like honestly, at all, ever. I love your mindset. Thank you. Where do you live? I am in Ohio. Someone else said, I live in Ohio too, but not from here. It's an okay state, but I can't wait to move. See ya. I'm just kidding, but yeah, if you want to move. Like, let me ask you this. Why do you want to move? Why did you move here? Genuine question. Why did you move here and then you want to move now? I'm just curious. How long have you had your mortgage for? Thanks for sharing your journey, by the way. Really inspiring. Love from the UK. Hello from the UK. I've had my mortgage since September of 2020. So I'm crazy, and I know that this is month 43 because I've been tracking it. Just because it sounds cool to say what month out of 60 you're in with paying off your mortgage. But yep, since September 2020 we signed our contract in March of 2020, the day that our governor shut down restaurants, movie theaters for the pandemic. It was literally like we were signing the contract, and then like we left, and I got on social media and I saw that, and we're just like, oh my gosh, things are getting crazy. So, but yeah, it was a good time, not too hot. Someone said, I did a no spend year, saved so much money. Wow, that's hard to do, but that's very impressive. Yeah, spending is the number one. Okay, someone said, I mean spending as in going out, shopping, new things, etc. Going out. So yeah, with us having 2 kids at home, we really don't go out that much. Like, we don't have like a whole lot of help at home. So most of the time, if you see us, you see our kids. And so we don't when we do take our kids out, they are so crazy and love to fight. So it's not a good time. And we like to go back home. I mean, honestly, I'm confident that that probably contributes to us being at home as much as we are. Because that's where they can fight and scream and not bother other people. But I feel like in general, we don't have things that we really just need to buy. And honestly, something that helps me probably with overspending is buying stuff online, like buying one thing if I need it and having it get delivered here or something like that. Like, it's just easier than going out, also having to walk throughout the store, taking so much time, and then seeing other stuff, and like suddenly you need stuff that you really don't need. Someone said I buy all my kids' clothes used. I do buy my kids' clothes used sometimes too. Like, we have secondhand stores and stuff like that. I love going there, but at the same time, if something's having a sale, I definitely try to take advantage of that too. Someone said, did you know you were going to pay off your house quickly when you closed? Did you already have this plan in place? Basically, yes, we did. At the closing table, we were talking to the person and our realtor, just telling them like we want to have our house paid off in 10 years. And most of the time when you tell people that, they don't really flinch because I don't know. Like, I think that it's just like, it's obviously not the norm, but it's also like, I think they just let it go in one ear and out the other. I don't know. They don't act like it's as big of a deal as it actually is, because it is a big deal. But yeah, we told them we wanted to pay it off in 10 years, and then we actually ended up paying it, or readjusting our plan to pay it off in 5 years later on. So yeah, we already knew, because also we were, paying on consumer debt and stuff like that. And then after we had paid off all of that, and then now we get a mortgage and go back into debt, it's like you don't really want to be in debt forever. Someone said, with my finances, I follow a mix of different philosophies, but it does incorporate a spending category. Sure, I'd pay off debts faster, but doing that brings me joy that have a price tag is worth. Yeah, for sure. I definitely believe everything in moderation. I definitely feel like if spending or shopping brings you joy, you should definitely put that in your budget. I agree. Eating food brings me joy, and we make sure that we eat out at least once a week, maybe probably more than that, honestly, probably like 3 times a week. So it just really depends on the person and what brings you joy. But if spending and shopping brings you joy, then yeah, for sure, put that in your budget. I agree. Okay, so this is the person I had asked about the Ohio and leaving. They said, well, I have been here for 10 years now. I feel like there's only a limited amount of things to do now. And I'm originally from Detroit, chose to raise my kids here. They're all big now and I'm ready to go. Okay, fair enough. Is that where your family is? Like, what is there to do in Detroit that you can't do here? I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just saying. I just like sometimes people say like there's not a lot to do in Ohio, but I feel like there is a lot to do. In what part of Ohio? Because I don't know. I'm really mainly familiar with Central Ohio, but I feel like there's a lot to do. But no, honestly, if you have your mind made up, obviously, definitely do what makes you happy and move back to Michigan. Sounds like you might miss having more snow than the snow that we have here. Yeah. And then let me know if you guys want to see like certain types of videos. I'm still trying to I have some that I want to do, but if there's anything that I haven't done that you guys would like to see, also tell me that. Someone said I live in a high cost of living state and it would be cheaper living elsewhere, but everyone I know is here. Yeah, I get that. It's easier for me, I guess, because I don't really have a lot of friends. Yeah, and then it's like, I think when I was younger, I used to feel like I could never move because my family is here, but then at the same time, I don't feel like I talk to enough of my family to have that keep me from staying here, but then now we have a house here and I'm used to it here. I also don't really feel like there's a point of like moving now. Someone said I could do vlogs. I don't know, I could, but like what would I show when we don't do a whole lot? And then also it's just like I was actually someone else was wanting me to do like a day in the life because they don't understand how I spend a little amount of money. So I was going to try to show some of the stuff that we eat at home. Could do that. But, yeah, with vlogs, I wouldn't want to, like, bore people too much. Honestly, with me working from home, day in the life, yeah, I could try it. With me working from home, it's like most of my day is me working. And then once I get off, it's like the evening and we're just relaxing and things like that. How I teach my kids about money too. So my kids are 3 and 6. I don't really teach them about money. Like my oldest is just learning like pennies, quarters, nickels, and dimes and stuff like that right now. So in the future, definitely plan to though. But yeah, I do want to do that. And then also I know someone else was saying like the video that I did about things that we don't buy or how I plan to teach my kids. That's a good idea. But yeah, someone had said like the video that I did with things that I don't buy, but I should make it like a series and keep talking about things that we don't buy, and it was like giving them ideas. So I'm planning to post that soon, number 2. And then actually thought of some stuff for number 3, honestly. But then I'm like kind of stuck from there and I don't really know what else we don't buy. Cost cutting. Like things we don't buy, or like how I could cut cost on other stuff or how other people could. I don't really. It's hard when you don't know other people's financial situations or like how much money they have or like how much they spend or what they buy. Okay, so the person who's talking about moving back to Michigan said Detroit is no longer an option. It's crazy there. I have family here in Detroit, but I think I want to try out Texas or maybe Florida. Ready to get away from the snow and cold. Yeah, I honestly don't blame you. I feel like I would like to someday like be a snowbird. That's just way down the line. But I know that, you know, snowbirds, they live, seems like they live where they were like raised, like in the cold. Actually, I don't know if it's where they're raised, but overall, I feel like they stay at the cold place like in the spring and summer, and then they go to the warm place through the winter, which honestly, that is so ideal because where I live, it's snow and it's cold and everything like that. Someone else said that they would like to see a video how you spend wisely when buying groceries, and as an example. Yeah, I definitely could do that. I feel like that's also like I did do the one last week or something about what we bought grocery shopping. I don't know, just like I've done so many that I just have a video for like a lot of things already. So, but yeah, snowbirds, I feel like that's like one long-term goal, honestly, that I would like to, I don't know, at the same time, because I just feel like how do people who are snowbirds like manage that house that they're not living in right now? Like you have to hire somebody, or like somebody you know, or you could like Airbnb it, but it's like somebody has to be in that area. Otherwise, you're not going to fully be able to help the person who's staying there. So I don't know, or just leave it empty for 6 months. Like that seems like that's weird to do. But yeah, so does anybody have any other questions for me? But yeah, I am gonna try to stay on live try to start doing weekly lives for at least an hour. So we still have like good 30 minutes here tonight. But yeah, also, I feel like I've been doing a series but that's mainly on TikTok, about reasons people tell us we shouldn't pay off our house. And I feel like I've pretty much covered every topic except not like investing. Because honestly, you know, just because something makes sense mathematically doesn't mean that everybody wants to do it. And that's my situation right now. Like, we're obviously not going to stop. Unfortunately, I did come across somebody who did say that they were paying extra on their mortgage, and then they decided to stop because someone was telling them how it was better to invest, and so they listened to them. Like, I just feel like how we are right now, we're so confident in our decision to pay off our house early. There's nothing that someone could say to me to change our mind. Like, I'm not going to have someone tell me, oh, actually do this, and I actually do it. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with, like, having questions and stuff like that, and people ask questions. I just, like, this is where I'm at with, like, the commenters about investing and stuff like that. Like, if I look at their page and I see that they're following me, okay, you might be actually genuinely curious about what I'm doing, or why I'm doing it, or why I chose this over that. I'll probably answer your question. But I just like where I'm officially at with, like, content and documenting our journey and people's comments on every video, that I am officially at the point where I'm like, okay, if I say something, I'm probably going to say how I really feel and not hold back. So I'm just not going to respond to people anymore. If they're not following me, I'm going to assume that they're not really trying to ask questions to understand. They're just trying to ask questions to say that I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, basically. So that's where I'm at with that. Let me know what you guys think about that. Does that make sense to you guys? Someone said I have had to adopt the same policy. Yeah. I just feel like I only really reply to followers. That's what I feel like I want to start doing, honestly. Because it's also like you're not contributing anything, really. It's so easy to click on their profile first. Yeah, I agree. I mean, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for commenting and possibly liking the video. But aside from that, if you're not even planning to stick around by following me, see ya. Like, you're not here, basically. Or I super, super love it when somebody who actually follows me, like, replies to them for me, and I don't even have to say anything. And they're just like, they're doing this because they want to. Thank you, because you're helping me out. But that's where I'm at with it. But yep, so tomorrow is Sunday. Does anybody else get the Sunday scaries? Angie says I was. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Like, I think it just starts to dawn on you. And something that I try to remember is this might be my millionth time getting a comment like this, but this could be this person's first time ever commenting something like this. So for me to just clap back and just on them isn't fair. So I try not to. Very much Sunday scaries. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I kind of opened my eyes to like 9 to 5 last year, and I thought it could have been a phase and it should have gone away, but it did not. Saying that we must be careful with our money, and before, for me, I would just spend. Yeah. I honestly used to really be like that, and then like last year we tried to go to Target to just go spend money just because we had some extra money. We're like, let's just go spend some money, and honestly we couldn't even do it. We were just like, I'm just like, I don't want anything. And I think it's a mindset, honestly, like you really have, like, it's just, you just change. Like, it's a switch sometimes. It really just depends on you. But if you're more content with what you already have, like, sure, if you need something, most likely you don't need like 5 outfits all at once unless you're just like completely getting rid of your closet. You could have that and you could want to spend that. There's something wrong with that. But for me, usually I'm not going to need 5 outfits at a time. I just probably need one top for this or one outfit for that. So it's just going places and spending a bunch of money. Like, you know, I've been doing good. I haven't really been going into Target, stuff like that. So I just don't need anything. I have so many clothes, perfume, shoes, bag, makeup. Yeah. Actually, I didn't really have much perfume before. My mother-in-law just gifted me some. We went on vacation um not too long ago. Um we came back with some gifts from family, which I wasn't expecting, but I appreciate. So that was helpful, honestly, because I feel like when you don't go shopping too often and then someone gives you something, you're like, wow, I could really use this. Thank you. So I used to be so impulsive. We've all been there. We've all been guilty of being impulsive, honestly. But yeah, I think that my guilty pleasure is just food. I am proud of what you did. Thank you. It's just, yeah, sometimes I think you have equity in the property. I do. I feel like that contributes mainly to our net worth and it being higher than usual. Like, I really don't know what other people's net worth is, honestly. I know ours used to be in the negative, but I saw someone else on TikTok talking about their net worth, and they were saying they were like on the journey to 100K. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know if that's how everyone's net worth is around that age, like late 20s, but our house definitely, us paying extra on our mortgage definitely contributes to our net worth being what it is. Someone said, how did you get your house built in your price range? I believe you said you had a 4-bed house and your amount was like 300K. How did you get it in that range? Sorry if I'm being too nosy. Yeah, 300. It wasn't a 300 range. I think also, sure, today's day and age, like getting a house, you know, like a new build house for like 300K isn't common, and that doesn't happen. But when we got our house, it's been almost 4 years ago, and I feel like house prices have increased even dramatically over the past 4 years. So I feel like back then, 4 years ago, 300K was honestly like more expensive for a house in my area. Like, that's probably like typical 4-bed house or something, that's probably what you're going to get it for, if not less than that. Honestly, our budget when we were shopping around for a house was like the high 200s, but of course, building, you don't always stick with that. So it was pretty average. That was the average cost for a house at that time. Listen, Dave Ramsey, there are people in horrible situations. I agree. Someone said I got a 4 for less than 300 built. Yeah. Honestly, I think that, like, honestly, it's just the cost of houses have gone up. And even when we were about to start building this house, like, before we even closed, the base price of our model had went up by, like, at least $30,000. Like, it started going up a lot. So I just think that sometimes we kind of forget about, like, in general. I don't forget just because I was buying a house at that time, but I'm not sure, if anybody else was. But I just can't believe how fast they're going. And honestly, some people talk about, like, how I think they're going up more and more from here on out. Yeah, seriously. That's how it's just going to keep going up. But some people talk about how they wanted to buy okay, I definitely understand. I thought it was just built. It was just built. Actually, no, it wasn't just built right now, if that's what you mean. But yeah. I think you must buy now. Yeah, that's sometimes when people talk about, like, I'm not going to buy now, I'm going to wait. I'm not a realtor. I'm not in, like, selling houses. This is just my unbiased opinion. The cost to keep waiting, it's probably going to end up costing you more. Like, you should just buy. It depends. How much money do you think you could save between now and when you think you'll be ready? Like, that's the only thing that you should really let factor it. If you can buy now, like, just buy, because as you can see, house prices are going to keep going up. Someone said, how to delay gratification to save that big down payment. It really just depends on you and mindset, honestly. Like, you really just have to think about what you want. But I truly believe now, everything in moderation. Like, I don't think you should, like, deprive yourself. Like, if you have that one thing that you like to do once a week that really brings you joy, I think that you should keep doing that one thing, as long as it's not like $1,000 a week. Like, I think that you should still keep doing what makes you happy, but also delay, like, big gratification in order to save a down payment. We weren't, like, rushed with it, honestly. Like, the mindset and the vibe when we were saving up money during those 18 months, it was, like, relaxed. We didn't feel like, stressed about it or anything like that. It was just, like, especially with us just coming off of, like, paying consumer debt, like, instead of having to shell out money every 2 weeks, we were instead saving money, and it was just relaxed. Like, we were accumulating and earning interest in our high yield savings account. Like, we were just relaxing, paying that money to ourselves for once instead of anyone else. I just put a note for my goal in my refrigerator. We would see it every day. Yeah, I think that it's good for some people who have, like, those visuals. Hypothetically, what if I put, like, 3 to 5K on my principal? That would be good. For sure, that helps. Honestly, that just sounds like, it's almost like appetizing to me. I'm like, I'd love to just drop 3 to 5K on the principal right now. But yeah, it's fun just seeing the balance go down and decrease that much more. If you have that money, I would do it. Someone said, I love what you're doing. I feel better with a paid off house because I didn't grow up in a stable home. Yeah, I definitely understand that. And thank you. Because when I was growing up, the only time my parent, like, owned a home, I was in elementary school, and like, we were there for, like, a good, not even 3 years before their house got foreclosed on. So I would love to not be in that position. But yeah, that's kind of what it was. But the thing is, and obviously I didn't know this when I was a kid, but my parent actually had a adjustable rate mortgage. I don't know, like, it just makes me feel like already, like, I'm doing something right, because nowadays I feel like I would never, like, sign up for an adjustable rate mortgage. Not saying that if anybody has that, that's so bad, but it's like also be smart about it. Like, I think that the interest rates had just gone up like a lot basically, and so the payment wasn't affordable at that point. But just me personally, in my own opinion, I'm not going to even chance it. Most likely, I'm not going to take an adjustable rate mortgage. So it really just depends, you know. And I feel like that's rare. Like, people rarely take those types of loans these days. So, but yeah, what are your guys' interest rates if everybody has a house mortgage? Because I feel like it's funny how much it like varies. Some people's interest rate will be 3%. Some people's will be over double that at 7%. Something. I'm a first generation homeowner, so it's really important to me. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's just funny, honestly, how much you've motivated me to pay more. Awesome. I just feel like every little bit counts, but it's funny how much people don't see. Most people see the value in paying off your house early, but then there's some people who don't, and I'm just like, why would I not want to have any housing cost? Like, of course I want that. Like, that's just something that if I stay here, which we have all plans to, I don't have to keep dealing with that. Any housing cost. Mm-hmm. But yep. What are you guys' plans for the rest of the night? I'll stay on for about 13 more minutes until 9 and then hop off. But someone said we moved to a new area where homes are 300s for a condo, 800 square feet, and a single family is about 800. Oh, thanks for the inspiration. Yeah, I don't know. I know that everybody has their reasons for living where they live, and I don't fault that at all. But it's just like, oh, I'm glad, honestly, that I live someplace where it's like houses are affordable. And it's just like, if I lived someplace where houses weren't affordable, I just wonder if I would like just move. Because the cost, like $800,000 for an 800 square feet condo. But then at the same time, I also wonder this. In the area that you live in, is your income much higher than the average, double income household, single income household, whatever? Because if so, does it offset that cost? But if it doesn't, I might think about moving if it's me. I don't know. How does everybody else feel? But yeah, I think I'm just staying put at this point. Hello. Like, I don't really have the urge to move at all, personally. I mean, maybe someplace warm, but I just feel like there's like almost cons to like any place that you could go. Like, even if you move someplace because you don't want to live someplace cold anymore, like someplace hot, Florida, they have hurricanes. No, thank you. They call that locality pay. I think I've heard of that. Like, where they adjust your income based off where you live. Like, if you work with one company and you move to a different state, they would like adjust your income or your pay to something else. Someone said barely. Like, they would barely change your income. Yeah, I don't think it's a whole lot, honestly. She said, well, that's what they call it in the DMV. Wise words, we both have advanced degrees, live in the DC metro. Yeah, so like you guys live in the same area. Do you guys know each other? But yeah, I don't know where else. Like, I'm the type where like I want to live someplace that most people don't live, like Maine, Vermont, something like that. Did anybody ever watch Scandal? Because that always made me want to live in Vermont. Mm-mm. But guys, we do have a good time. Like me and my husband, we've now gone to 2 NBA games in 3 months. And we've always dreamed about doing stuff like that. Like we like to watch basketball and stuff like that, and we just want to enjoy our time, enjoy our money in some way. And we never, like I said before, get time away from the kids, but 2 times within 3 months we get the chance to go to NBA games, obviously without them. So it just all fell in line, and I'm appreciative for that. I don't know when we'll get a chance to go to another one because people don't want to just hang out with kids all day. We just really just don't have much help. Like some people say they have a village. We don't have one of those. I don't know if anybody else can relate, but it's just us, ourselves out here in the wild with these kids. Obviously, I think it'll be easier to go out and do stuff with them when they're older. But right now, 3-year-olds it's basically just an extended Terrible tour. Like, Terrible 2s actually last 2 years, so it goes into 3. Hopefully by 4, he is a little bit in a better mood overall. OMG, I can't believe you have 2 kids. You look so young. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is a compliment. Yes, I have 2 kids. I think we're done though. Prayerfully. What did you study in college? I didn't go to college. Never went. I wonder if people think that I mainly do. Maybe that's something else I could talk about. But honestly, me and my husband had enough student loans for the both of us. So he took care of it for us, basically. But he's an LPN, so didn't really end up with a degree. How old are you? 28? You seem so smart, like you went to college. That is low-key an insult. Like, only people who go to college are smart. It's okay, I know what you mean, but that's funny. I don't think anybody's ever told me that. Why you look younger than 28? Thank you. Keep it up. Because sometimes I just feel like these smile lines age me a little bit. You're very articulate. Thank you. Yes, keep it coming. With the compliments, please. But yep, pushing 30 at this point. Like, what age did you marry? 20. Been married for 8 years. That is not the norm, right? I feel like we do everything that is not the norm. We're weird. College definitely doesn't define intelligence. Well, thank you. OMG, married 8 years. Unbelievable. I know. Time just flies. Goes so fast. But yeah, I agree. Wish I had my life together like you. You do, I'm sure. Yeah, college doesn't define intelligence. Let's talk about that because I do feel pretty smart. I think I have a lot of life smart, life things that you need to know in life. I think I know about that stuff. Like, this is pretty important, your finances. What is your most frugal habit? My most frugal habit. I don't know. What's frugal to me might not be frugal to others. Honestly, shopping at Aldi. I feel like that's where most people mess up, is grocery shopping. Shopping at Aldi. I meant that you're so articulate and I just assumed that you attended college. It's okay. I know. I'll be married 10 years in July. Congratulations. That's a good one. Are you an LPN too? No, I am not. I started my mortgage journey because of you. Oh, I love that. Congratulations. Keep it up. Oh, wait. I think I missed one. how did you meet a guy at that age that wanted to marry and settle down? Because I saw the potential in him and I was like, that's the one. And, you know, just pursued each other. And apparently I'm good enough where he liked me back and wanted to get married. Honestly, yeah, he's a few years older than me. But, you know, we had actually been together about 18 months before we got married. We did like almost like a courthouse type wedding. And we just did it. And I just think that people who act like they can't get married, I mean, okay, if you don't want to get married, fine. But some people who just act like they can't afford it and stuff like that, if you love somebody bad enough, make it work. We've been married 8 years. I'm still wearing this same wedding ring that we got over 8 years ago. Paid $100 for it. And I wear it every day. So I just think that if you wanted to, you would. That's all. If you know, you know. And if you wanted to, you would. Do you plan family vacations? We actually just got back from vacation. It was a mental vacation, but it was to Minnesota. And it was snowing. 7 inches of snow over 24 hours. And I'm probably going to talk about this every chance I get. They are doing the people of Minnesota a disservice because here in Ohio, if it's going to snowstorm, they are prepared. They put salt down with the trucks before the storm even starts. They plow during the storm. They plow after the storm. Minnesota, who is obviously closer to the north than Ohio is, they did people a disservice. The roads were disgusting, terrible. We got stranded because there was no Lyft or Uber drivers out after our NBA game that we went to. Nobody was out driving in it. The streets were covered in snow. Like, they were not out there. People were spun out, going the opposite direction, like stuck opposite direction on the freeway. It was just disgusting. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. You've inspired me. I grabbed my amortization page and working on it. Keep posting your journey. It's inspiring. And literally ignore the haters and naysayers, period. Because that's what I'm trying to do. Talked about earlier, I decided that if somebody has a comment that I don't like, or I said about investing, that I'm going to ignore them unless they're following me. Haven't seen snow in a while. Sounds very exciting. It's not exciting. It's honestly not exciting. It's beautiful. It looks very nice to look at and things like that. But when it comes to driving in it, you know, a lot of people get in car accidents because of it. Like, the roads are bad if they aren't properly treated. And, you know, I said Ohio takes care of it, but honestly, not 100% of the roads are always taken care of. That's not, you know, always done right away, especially if it's a lot coming down. So sometimes there are accidents and black ice and stuff like that. But yeah, it was exciting as far as adventurous to get stranded in Minnesota, but I was actually very anxious and scared. Favorite black couple on TikTok? Really? Are you sure? If we're your favorite black couple, then share our page so your friends follow us on TikTok, because you should be leading podcasts about building together. We have a YouTube channel. That's as close as it's going to get right now. The thing about YouTube and the thing about a podcast, which I feel like that's even more involved than a YouTube channel, like, it's even more work. We've actually scaled back YouTube a little bit just because, like, at the end of the day, real transparent, it is a job at the end of the day. Like, it's work is what I mean by that. Like, editing videos on YouTube, like videos that are quick and short, like these ones on TikTok and Instagram, like, that's real quick to edit and upload, it's done. But YouTube, where you have a video that's probably going to be at least 10 minutes, and you put so much time into, like, filming, editing, like, YouTube videos, like, thumbnails, all the stuff you have to do. And we started our YouTube channel in October of 2022, so it's been over a year and a half. And starting in January, I said, you know what, like, this is literally so much work, and we still aren't, like, monetized on YouTube. I'm not going to keep, like, uploading on YouTube. Like, I was doing it, like, once a week at first, and then once every 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm not going to keep putting in so much effort. Like, you're essentially working for free because also I started this YouTube channel not for, you know, to get monetized, but to document our journey And if I was really just only doing it for documenting our journey, I probably wouldn't have been uploading as much as I was, putting so much effort into it. Like, basically, I wanted to get back to my roots and get back to the reason that we started it, which was to document our mortgage payoff journey. And like, that's why. So that's why now I kind of do more of a monthly thing. If the need was there, more so, like, not the need, but the attention or people enjoying it and actually watching our videos to the point that we could get monetized, then maybe we put more into YouTube. But for now, my focus is really just TikTok, Instagram, things like that. So more watch hours, people watch it, then that'd be different. Do you see yourself ever, I think I clicked something on accident. Do you see yourself ever going to college? That is a good question. Honestly, probably not, because I don't know if anybody can relate to like barely graduating high school. I just don't like school. Like, I don't really want to go sit like but honestly, my motto honestly with life is never say never, so you never know, something could happen where I change my mind. But as of right now, I don't have the interest. If anything, I feel like I want to work less. So I don't know. I feel like things that I'm more so passionate about is things like paying off our mortgage, like financial stuff, like things like that. I feel like the first step is like what I did today, like opening up our subscriptions tab. Like, that's fully up to other people if the interest is there, the need is there. But that's more so stuff that I'm passionate about. I'm confused why people have an issue because you are paying your bills. So weird. I agree. I do think it's very weird. And like I said today, I don't feel like if somebody else's videos like pop up on my stuff and they're doing something that works for them, I'm not going to say like, don't do this, you're throwing away money. Like, even if it's doing the opposite, like investing a ton of money. I don't even ask them like, oh, are you paying off your mortgage early? Because why? That's their life. That's what they want to do. Did you build your home? Yes. You have nice hair. Thank you. You seem like you would be a good professor. That's funny because I don't know how professors are. Well, I said I was going to get off at 9. If people want me to stay on, if people actually say, like, act like they want me to stay on, I will. But if not, I'm going to sign off. So I will give you a couple of minutes to ask questions more. Someone said stay on. Oh, you guys like me? I'm so inspired by your journey. Just curious, have you guys had any emergencies that drained your emergency fund? Oh, no. Knock on wood. So with us being in a new build, we do have a warranty. Like, it's tiered. It was like 1 year, 2 year, and then it's 5 year and 10 years. But obviously, as you get higher into like living here longer and longer, the things that are covered are not going to be like little things like they are at first. I live in Ohio. How did you build your home? We went through like a builder that is already like building out communities, and then we built with them. Or we just like, they show you like a models that they have. I think they had like 5 or 6 different models that you could pick from. And so you just pick a model, and then they end up building your house. Honestly, it's crazy because it's like, I feel like, honestly, building a house is such a great transition from renting because of the warranty, and because if you're someone like me who doesn't know anything about being handy, and really neither does my husband. Granted, he's learned some things since we've lived here, but if you're like that, where you're renting and you really don't have that education on things like that, it's a great transition. So I feel like it was really just perfect for us. I would look at Zillow all the time when we were still renting in an apartment, like even way before we were ready for to buy a house, just looking at stuff like that. And sometimes I would see that there were houses, like new houses, and I saw this one, and so I went to go visit it and like got like paperwork and stuff like that, and the rest is history. What state do you live in? We're in Ohio. Someone said, give us advice about being a mom. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out every day. How do I do this? No, I'm just kidding. Probably the best advice I could give is just like, from like a financial standpoint, it's like the stuff that you think you need when you're pregnant, you don't need. Like, you don't need all the junk that is like, and it's like I realized that when I was like pregnant myself and I would go into places like Buy My Baby, or what else is there? Like those big chain stores that are just baby stores. And I'm just like, wow, this is like a little disgusting because there's so much stuff. And it's like, you don't, like, it's wasting money really. And then like the outfits, like that you might buy like 2 outfits. It's like literally, I feel like when I was a mom, I'll speak for myself, not when I was a mom, but when I was a mom of a newborn, I was in survival mode. I was never like picking out clothes for my baby. Not never, but mainly picking stuff out for my baby. And then like for them to wear it, like you're just picking whatever's like there to grab. Like you just put anything on them, basically. So it's just like, you don't need all the clothes. Like, you don't need all the stuff that they have. Like this little like thing that they had to wipe off the binky when it drops on the floor. You're not worried about that. So my advice would just be, don't buy all the crap that they have there for you because you don't need it. My husband and I are looking to build our own because we aren't in a position to get loans. That's impressive. Have a nice evening. Good night. How many kids do you have? We have 4. They drain us. We have 2. And yeah, 4. Whew, we thought we were going to have 3 until we had the second one. Hello, did you build within a community or did you already have land when you reached out to the builder? We built within a community. What down payment percent do you recommend? It really just depends on the person. I don't like regret putting 20% down at all. I'm glad we did. If it's me, I would want to put down as much money as I can because that means you're financing even a smaller loan and you're paying interest on a smaller loan. How do you figure how much to pay a month extra? We automatically pay the same amount every month. It's just what we're at right now. At the beginning, we would just pay whatever we had left pretty much after each paycheck. After, spending money and everything like that, stuff we had left, we would just put it towards. It was a little bit more lax and less scheduled and less calculated in the beginning because we were really just paying extra what we could and trying to figure out how we wanted to do it. Once we got further in, then we were like, okay, this is how much we need to pay it off by this time. Let's start paying this amount every single time. We bought our land, owner finance, and looking to pay off fast. Build with me as contractor. Yeah, if I had built, either way, definitely for sure benefits you to pay it off early. Have you seen the videos about 1200 Nano strollers or Duna? I haven't, but honestly, probably because TikTok knows I don't want to see stuff like that. Like, I just think that, hey, if it's like beneficial to you, like honestly, if you're like rich or something, or you have like a ton of money, like some of these people on TikTok do, that's a whole different story. And you probably couldn't easily afford stuff like that. It's not even going to make a difference to you. But to me and most everyday people, $1,200 on a stroller is crazy. It's funny because I had gotten like they call it a travel system. I don't know if they still call it a travel system where it's like the car seat and the stroller like together. So we bought that like 7 years ago when I was pregnant, and we still have the stroller section of it. Like we don't have the car seat anymore because we ended up giving it to somebody, but we still have a stroller. And I want to say the combo is probably like high $100, so like maybe like $175, $190, something like that. And I still have that stroller. Now we use it with my younger son, but he's now getting to the point where he's kind of too big for it. So we're just getting to the point where we might end up getting rid of it. My loan is 105. How much extra should I pay? How much extra can you afford? How soon do you want to pay it off? Things like that is really what it comes down to. I'm assuming that's $105,000. So you really just need to see how much extra you have left over after paying all your bills and everything, and then using that money to pay extra on it. When we started out, we were just like paying what we could after our bills and things like that. And then once you can decide, okay, we can afford to pay this much extra moving forward, or if you're like, I'm gonna pay it off by this time, I see that I need to do this in order to pay it off by this time, do that for sure. How do you stay in shape? um, well, actually, it's funny because in 2022, I think that was, I was actually like my largest weight ever, and I was like the same weight that I was when I was like my biggest pregnant, and I wasn't pregnant. So actually, it's funny because I was thinking about making a video about this, how me and my husband both lost 25 pounds each without spending any money, basically, just like watching YouTube workout videos and walking a lot, eating less. Like, some people think that you have to go to a gym, which if you like going to the gym, nothing's wrong with that. But if you can't really, or if you don't want to, or if it's not like practical for you, like it wasn't practical with us with kids, definitely can lose weight that way if you have the discipline, I guess. It was hard some days. It wasn't easy. What is your food budget? So this month, our grocery food budget is $450 for the month. For our like eating out budget, we don't really have like a budget, but we do put aside $200 every 2 weeks to spend on like spending money or like stuff that we need to buy. So anything less than that is what we try to do. Do you ever want a girl? I don't want any more kids, honestly. I don't. So I'm to that point where I'm just like, I'm not going to have a girl. I'm okay with that, honestly. I think I've really like changed my mindset about it because, of course, when I first had a kid, like I wanted a girl. So then it's like you just kind of get over it. Like, and then when we were pregnant with my second son, the person who did our ultrasound told us like it's a girl, and I'm like, we like got all excited, and then I'm like, wait, you told me that kind of quick. Like, can you check again? Oh, just kidding, it's a boy. So at this point now where I'm at, I'm over it. I don't like want a daughter anymore. No, that's my long answer, my short answer. But my long answer is we go through so much as women, girls, women, whatever. Like, hopefully there's not a whole lot with sons. Like, they just, with girls, like they want to pay for like hair, nails, the average girl. I can't guarantee that I'm going to have a girl like me who doesn't really care about all that stuff. But with my sons, like they just got to get their hair cut. And that's it. So I'm good on it. But yeah, that's really it at this point. But yeah, sometimes I do think about, like someone had asked about us building our home. Someone on Instagram asked, what is the best way to buy a car, used or new, loans or cash? I'm asking my opinion. We don't like to get loans for anything, honestly, at this point. So the last vehicle we got was an SUV in 2021, and we paid cash for it. Like, we just drove to go get it. That was a great feeling, not having to leave with the car payment. So personally, it was a used car. Like, we weren't like trying to buy new at that point, just because we obviously wanted something like the best thing that we could afford, and that was going to be a used car. Someone said girls are definitely a handful. I have two and they're expensive. Yeah, I know. Prom dresses, homecoming dresses, like stuff like that. Someone on TikTok said used is the way. Yeah. Someone on Instagram said, was your budgeting something that was taught to you from a young age, or did you teach yourself? So I feel like when I first started budgeting, like I would see my mom like write out all of her bills and stuff like that. So I feel like I got that part from it, but honestly, I don't feel like my like financial, like what's the word? Just I feel like I am smart with money, and I definitely feel like I'm smarter with money than she was, whatever. That's just how it is. Someone on Instagram said, super helpful. I've been saving up for a car to buy cash because I want to stay debt free, but it's so expensive with the market right now. Yeah, I don't know how the market is exactly right now, but I do know that it was expensive before. Like whenever we bought, my husband had researched vehicles for a while, And it's funny because we got this vehicle and it was such a good deal. Like, it was a 2014 Mazda CX-9, which is actually a third row, which is what I had been wanting. But we had went there to go get it, and it's funny because when we were there and like signing the paperwork to like get done with it and everything, they said that there was like two people who had just called while we were like signing the paperwork, like from out of state, about this vehicle. Like, it was super affordable. I cannot complain at all about how much we paid for that car. Someone on TikTok said folks are paying over 1K on car notes. Yeah, they are. They are, and I don't want anything to do with that. If you can hold out on the car market, do so. Prices are sliding slowly. It's funny because I feel like we got so lucky because in 2021, that was about the time, I don't know if anybody remembers, where car loans, or like when you were selling a vehicle, they were giving you like a lot of money. And so the car that I had was like a hatchback that I got in 2014. I bought it new, and then I bought it for like 17,000 or about that in 2014. And then I ended up selling it in 2021, so like almost 7 years later, for 10,000. So I just feel like over the course of 7 years, and that was a great deal. I don't really care what nobody says. Like, we got 10,000 on it. That was from Carvana. And they came and picked it up. And that's all I had to do. Honestly, it was too easy. And it kind of makes me think about how people complain about Carvana, that their cars that they get are like not good. Not that anything was wrong with my car, but I just feel like they just test drove it a little bit, like around the street, and came back. And I'm like, is that really enough time for you to be able to tell if something is wrong with someone else's car? Like, my car was in great condition. I miss that car. It was like 7 years old, almost 7 years old, maybe 7.5 years or 6.5 years old. And I only had 54,000 miles on it. Like, I took really good care of that car. I miss it. I was just honestly emotionally attached because I had had it since I was like literally like 19. I love Carvana. Both our cars are from Carvana. Good. I'm glad that some people have good experiences, but also at the same time, I just feel like everyone could have a bad experience someplace. Like, everybody could have, like, 5 people could have a bad experience someplace and they document it, like they do complaints, and so it's online. But then there's also 10 people over here who've had a great experience with that same place. And like, you know, like the minority people who have like a bad experience are going to be very vocal about it. So you never know. I've never bought a car from Carvana, but some people who I saw online just said that they had issues. And then I know they also had some maybe legal trouble with like, what do you call it? Like them getting your registration to you so you can like register the vehicle or something like that. Someone said shop when buying a car. Shop when buying a car. End of the year is best if buying from a dealership. I've heard that. My husband actually did all like the research on this vehicle that we had gotten. Honestly, I'm lucky, and he had said like, this is one we want. Like, let's go get it. And so we did. But yeah, he was like following somebody on Instagram who would go live, who worked at a car dealer, talking about tips and stuff, and we lucked out. What is your opinion on credit? Is it smarter to save or build credit? I definitely think that credit is important. It's always something that you're going to end up having to answer to at the end of the day. You know, we aren't someone who are like, you know, constantly worrying about it or anything like that, or like thinking about it too much. Like, we check it. We have like Credit Karma to like check it, make sure, you know, it's good, accurate, all that. But I just think that good credit comes with time. Like, we don't do anything about our credit, but it still is at a good spot. Like, the last time I checked it, it was like the high 700s, low 800s. But it's just years of on-time payment history, keeping our credit utilization low. Like, we have credit cards, but it's like we don't use them like to their full credit line. I know that reports to the credit bureau. We usually pay off our credit cards at the end of the month. So just how it works out is by the time it's like reporting to the credit bureau, the balance is like not at its lowest, but it's pretty low at that time. And that's another thing. It's like your credit card reports to the credit bureau once a month. Before, when I did have a low credit line, which was probably like when I first started getting credit cards, maybe 9 years ago, I had a super low limit. Like, the first credit card I had was a secured card. but I just knew that it only reported to the credit bureau once a month. So if I'm going to use it, even if I use this whole credit line, by the time it reports to the credit bureau, I just need to make sure that it's paid down at least during that time frame and then start using it again. So I feel like I've learned a lot over the years to, use it to my advantage at least, which, hasn't always been perfect. I definitely have had some stuff happened where, like collections back in the day, stuff like that. So it's definitely worked its way up over time. Okay, if nobody has any other questions, I'm going to hop off here within the next couple of minutes. And pay in full before the closing date. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Okay, guys, nobody has any questions. I'm going to hop off. See you later.